It's Beyond the Booth. I'm John Ramey. He is Mountain West insider Terrence Newman, sporting a new lid, as am I. Stories to be told about the lids momentarily. Terrence will return to sideline reporter duties for this coming Saturday's 2 o'clock kickoff here in Reno as the Nevada Wolfpack hosts Middle Tennessee of Conference USA. Nevada coming off a thrilling 20-17 victory over Sacramento State at home last Saturday. Middle Tennessee lost 42-10 at Wisconsin at Camp Randall. Terrence Newman, you were on the sidelines. Nevada needed, 57 minutes and 43 seconds to take their first and only lead. Jonathan Maldonado with the game-sealing interception return for a touchdown of 36 yards. Quite a moment. Football games can change on one snap, and that one sure did.
That one came out of nowhere. That was one of those you never know what's going to happen. Never leave a game early. I'm not gonna lie, jumped on the sidelines. Came out of my shoes there a bit. But then I regained composure. Had to, regain my professionalism as a broadcaster. But
As we
yeah,
all
it was
did.
one of those. It was just too hard to hold it in. All in all, I think it was a really, really solid game by the defense on all levels, but especially the D line and not just Maldonado. I mean, it's a pretty solid core they got up there up front, and I think they've really kind of taken the lead as like the best unit on that defense so far this year. Maybe even one of the best units on the team. Um, but and then Stone Combs at linebacker, he's flying around making plays. Maybe even get a little too energetic there with the helmet call. The
That was
DB,
Mervyn Kenyon.
no, Stone Combs also had one too,
Oh,
didn't
he
he?
also got it. Yeah, but he didn't get ejected,
He
did
didn't
he?
get
No,
ejected though,
no.
but Mervyn Kenyon did. And actually, I'm glad you said that. I'll lead into that. Something that I saw on the sidelines. I don't know if you were able to see it in the booth. I don't know if it came across to those watching on TV. Uh, Mervyn Kenyon the third stayed engaged even after he got ejected. Showed great leadership. I
Team
saw,
captain.
yeah, no, well, I saw it. I saw it in action. I did. I saw him talking with the other DBs as they were coming off the field. He was very vocal with them on the bench in between drives, and just in the huddle during timeouts. I saw him. He did not check out of the game. He stayed very active, very engaged. I was very impressed by that. I wanted to give him a shout out. And the other guys, they stepped up. It was a really, really solid game by the DBs. Um, Sacramento State, they had some talent on offense. So, they're still kind of bringing it together and figuring it all out. I think this is one of those teams is better to get them early than later in the season. But like, there's some talent there. So that was a really solid game by the defense, and I'm excited to see how they continue to gel going forward.
One thing that was of concern in the first half to me was how much Nevada was giving up on the ground. And then in the second half, Sacramento State couldn't move the ball at all on the ground. Was there an adjustment that you saw, or did the defense just kind of, as Michael Jordan might say, take it personally after halftime?
I honestly didn't see much of a adjustment as far as scheme or anything like that. I think it was just little more. Everybody's flying to the ball, just a little more extra effort. Um, I think the Sacramento State offensive line, a lot of big guys on that offensive line. I noticed they had some really big guys, and as the game went on, it wasn't the hottest day, but it was pretty. It was warm enough on the sideline. They started to wear down, I think, and our defensive ends are really quick, both of them, Maldonado and Labradera. And the defensive tackles, I think those type of defensive tackles, they're not the biggest guys, but I bet you I think they've got to be real annoying to
Yeah.
deal with for those offensive linemen on the interior.
Well, DT Thomas Woody, of course, hit
Yeah,
the forearm of Williams, the Sacramento State quarterback, that precipitated the fluttering pass that Maldonado intercepted
yeah,
to win the game.
yeah. It was like I said, it was a full team effort on defense. It was a full unit effort by the defensive line. It was a really great performance by them.
Okay, what are we going to do about the Wolfpack offense?
Well, they need to find the right balance. I was looking at the stats. And if you're looking at the stats without seeing the game, um, it looked like, oh, Chuba Purdy had a really good game on the ground, and he did. But
Hmm.
when you're there watching it, it's almost like, is it too much, Chuba? He had as many carries as he did passing attempts. He had 21 carries. That's too many carries for him. I called it out during the game. I could start to see that he was starting to wear down. Those hits were starting to take its toll. And as you noticed, as the game went on, his accuracy started
Yes.
to falter a little bit. And
I think that's because his legs were fatigued, as you astutely pointed out.
his legs were worn out, and also he'd been taking a lot of hits to the midsection. You carry the ball 21 times, Mitch, you got tackled 21 times, okay? Um, and I don't think we need to run him that much because I think the running backs actually had a pretty good game. We were talking in the pregame before who's going to be the running back that's going to step up. I think both Ramzier and Turner both played well. The only problem, I'd like to see them get more carries. I'd like to see Chuba's carries come down by maybe 8 to 10 carries and see those carries get moved over to the running back so that Chuba is a little more fresh so that he can spread the ball out a little bit more on offense through the passing game and still have that threat of his run game.
I mean, Nevada did net 269 yards on the ground.
Yeah,
And
no, we have a potential of a really good three-headed running attack with Chuba and those two running backs. It's just got to find the right balance. They have to dial that in.
that's a great call because I'm looking at the box score right now. So Turner carries 11 times, averages 7.1 per touch. Ramsey carries 13 times, averages 5.4 per touch, right? So if you get
You
Turner and
take
Ramsey,
both of that, yeah.
yeah, all day. Turner and Ramsey are combined for 23 carries, and Purdy carries himself 21. Yeah, you're right. If you get that dialed in a little bit, that is
Then
actually quite a formidable
that's a
rushing
pretty,
attack.
yeah, and that's going to only open up the passing game later on in the game. As the defense has to continue to creep those safeties a little more forward. So yeah, if we can just keep his legs fresh, keep the hit count down. There's something there. Like I said, they just got to fine tune it. Um, Still looking to find that the some more from the wide receivers.
Hmm.
You know, Brown, Jordan Brown had a pretty decent game, stepped up a little bit, had 4 catches, I think about 59 yards, somewhere in there. Marcus Bellon, got I think 2 catches, around 50 some yards. But that's about it. We need a third and a fourth option from the wide receiver and the tight end group. Maybe even find a way to get these running backs a little bit more involved. But we need more weapons for Chuba to be able to distribute the ball to.
Okay, you mentioned tight ends. One thing Coach Choate discussed with me off air and on air last night of the Wolfpack Coaches Show at Brew Brothers was how dominant on the line both Jet Carpenter and Jace Henry were in the run game. Um,
Oh,
we don't
yeah.
we don't talk enough on a radio broadcast in particular because our mission is so ball centric in describing what's going on without pictures. So, did you happen to catch some of what Choate described as utter destruction uh, being laid down by the tight ends?
Oh, in the running game, yes. The tight ends are 100% a factor in the running game, and the numbers bear it. Yeah, no, they really do help seal the edge there, and just kind of are almost like a sixth and seventh offensive lineman sometime out there. Um, and maybe it is more scheme and more what Nevada is asking them to. They're just really not being asked to do as much in the passing game. But I just think that for this offense to find, like, just in the running game needs to find a little more balance. The offense as a whole needs to find a little more balance, and we're going to need more options than just Marcus Bellin and whatever other wide receiver steps up that game. It needs to be an offense where we can spread the ball out to 4, 5, 6 different guys getting receptions in a game.
Okay, so Nevada is 1-1. Middle Tennessee coming in. They are 0-2. A loss to Austin P, an FCS school to begin their season, and then the loss at Wisconsin last week. The first 5,000 at Mackay, 2 o'clock kickoff. First 5,000 get this beanie, which is brought to you and all of us by our friends at Renown Health Center. So first 5,000 get a very snug and frankly very warm. I might take it off. I'm so warm, but it's a cool beanie. Tackle cancer, Renown, and yeah. So get your pack beanie. Terrence will be back. We'll be on the air at 1 o'clock, 105.7 FM. With the Bud Light Tailgate Show, and then we'll have every snap of the action. And let's talk a little bit about Middle Tennessee. I am building my charts as we speak, Mr. Newman, and in fact, I just shared my Google Doc with you. Offensively, the Blue Raiders under Derek Mason, the former Vanderbilt head coach,
Former
appear
Baltimore Raven wide receiver.
yeah.
Yeah.
7 of their coaches have NFL experience.
Okay.
Yeah. However, none of that appears to be trickling down to their offense, which is 124th in the FBS out of 134 in points per game through 2. They're averaging just 12 points per game. Their passing offense is 111th in the nation. Their total offense is 133rd, again, out of 134. Their third down conversion rate is 129th. So while Nevada's offense has had a trying time through the first 2 weeks, it is the Blue Raiders bringing a very challenged offense to Mackay Stadium this weekend. And I think that bodes well for the home team's chances, especially given how well they're playing on defense.
Yeah, no, Middle Tennessee's offense is pretty anemic. Now Austin P is it's a solid FCS program, but still not an FCS program that a FBS school should be losing school to.
By 20,
By
34
20,
to
yeah,
14.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, they really just don't bring a whole lot to the table offensively. They don't really have much of a scheme. There doesn't seem to be a lot of playmakers. I mean, if Nevada is planning on being a team that's getting back up to that 500 and even into the above 500 category and bowl eligible, this is a must win, especially at home, especially the way the defense has been playing. I expect the defense to be able to go out here and really smother their running game and just kind of shut down their passing game. And then this defensively, um, there's not a whole lot of talent on too many levels here. So I think honestly, I think we saw better talent last week against Sacramento State.
You mean
So
roster wide or just on the defense?
roster wide.
Yeah.
Um,
I'd agree with that.
yeah. So this should be a good chance for the offense to continue to get right and improve. Like you said, we saw the start of something there in the running game. So let's see if we can balance that out, and then let's see if we can get some sort of spark in the passing game. This should be a good game to really help fine tune those things. But like I said, this is the most must win game on the season if you're trying to get to bowl eligible by the end of the year.
One note of caution for the Wolfpack and their offense: Blue Raiders quarterback Nicholas Vattiato. This year, 35 of 67 for 301 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. 25 yards away from becoming third all-time passing yardage leader at Middle Tennessee, and currently 15th amongst active passers in the FBS subdivision with more than 7,800 yards. So there is experience and kind of proven experience at quarterback. So that's a wild card.
That
But
is a
other
wild
than
card, but there's not a
yeah,
whole lot around it for him to
right.
work with there right now.
Other than that, there's not, at least from a statistical standpoint, nothing grabs your attention coming off the page. All right. How
Look,
about
this is a
oh,
bottom half of Conference USA team. And if the Wolfpack want to be who they want to be and get to where they want to be, this is a team they have to beat.
if they are who they think they are,
If they are
to
who they think they are,
paraphrase
yeah.
the great Dennis Green, the late great Dennis Green. Okay. Let's shall we whip around the Mountain West? You gonna give me four downs?
Yeah, let's go do a new little segment here. Let's do four downs. I'm gonna give you four things that are good that I've seen in around the Mountain West. I'm gonna give you four things that need to improve around the Mountain West from teams.
All right, we
Um,
got to get a red cash and first down. Sorry, that's a real old school referee, 20th century referee. You remember him, of course.
yes,
Used to
yes.
give a real, he'd give the penalty. That's a illegal procedure, 5 yards, first down. That was the red cash and signature. So first down, Terrence.
Let's go first down. Uh, Running back from Boise State, Sire Gaines. Talked about him a little bit last week. Last week, I told you that this team is going to improve as he continues to become the vocal point of the offense. I remember I told you last week Malik Sherrod got actually more carries than he did, and I said that was going to change quickly. Well, that changed last week. Last week, he had 14 carries for 96 yards, one TD, as they had their way against Eastern Washington. He's just going to continue to get more and more carries. They found another guy. I don't know. Boise State found another guy. He's by the end of the season, we're going to be talking about him as the best all around running back in the conference. Second down,
Okay.
Fresno State linebacker Jadon Pearson.
Mm.
This guy's all over the field against Oregon State. 16 total tackles, 9 solo. I've seen a couple of their games now. This isn't a one off. He flies around in every game. He really they have a couple of linebackers, honestly, and they really are the strong point of not just the defense, but I'd say that team overall is their linebackers and their defense. Just a solid performance by him. Fresno State is going to be a tough out this year. Uh, Number three, third down. Anthony Calandra at UNLV. The guy just is solid. He's just solid. He's just a really good quarterback. That defense continues to get better each and every week. They've improved. Uh, he just his numbers, I think, are kind of where we'd like to see Chuba's numbers get to. Like I told you earlier, I think they're the same style of player. If you see him play, they look very familiar. Uh, 15 of 21, 203 yards, 3 TDs, 0 interceptions against UCLA, 11 carries, 59 yards. So he gets it done through the air, and he also gets it done on the ground. But you notice 11 carries, not
11. Yeah.
21 carries. And that's the range we need to see Chuba at. So, yeah, just he's a solid guy, and UNLV is going to be contending for the conference title if he continues to play like this. And fourth down. Wyoming defense.
The
Cowboys got
Pokes.
some. The Pokes got some Cowboys on defense.
Oh,
Now they were playing an FCS school, Northern Iowa, but University of Northern Iowa was a pretty solid FCS program, and they only gave up 7 points after a shutout against Akron. Listen to these totals for Northern Iowa's offense: 16 of 29, 111 yards passing, no TDs, 2 interceptions. Running 29 carries, 59 yards. Those were the team totals for Northern Iowa. So Wyoming's defense is shutting them down in the front end and in the back end. And
wow.
it's 2 games in a row. It's going to be something to look out for. If they can continue to play defense like this going into conference play and just get a little something out of that offense, look out for Wyoming. They might upset a few teams. Let's get to the four
Okay.
downs. Four downs bad. Four
Four downs
downs that need
bad.
4 downs bad. We need to see some improvement here. First down, San Jose State running game. We talked about this last week.
They're
It
playing
continues.
Texas.
They are playing Texas, but still, this is the
Oh,
team totals: 29 carries, 89 yards. Not one player on the team averaged more than 4.5 yards per carry. And this is 2 weeks in a row we've seen this. So you
that's
would like
that's
to say it's
Western.
just you'd like to say it's just Texas, but they also did this against Central Michigan. So
Yeah, those are Western Front of the First World War type gains.
yes, yes. So if San Jose State is going to try to turn this around by the time we get into conference play, it's going to have to start there. Second down, bad.
Second out.
Braden Fowler Nicolosi, Colorado
Ooh.
State quarterback.
They had a
I
close
think
one.
Colorado State has top to bottom one of the top three rosters in the Mountain West. I really
Still?
do. Still top to bottom. They have
Okay.
a solid running game. They have some athletes on defense that get around. But they have to find some consistency from the quarterback play if they're going to be in contention. 13 of 25, 132 yards, 0 TDs, 1 interception against Northern Colorado last week.
Yeah.
Now, if this team's going to be contending for a title like they were last year, and they want to maybe even have bigger aspirations than that, Braden Fowler Nicolosi, he's been in the program for too long to be playing like that still. Third down, bad. San Diego State offense. They had a rough one against Washington State. It wasn't there at any level. Running game, bad, anemic. Passing game, even worse. Just anemic. They couldn't block anybody. Uh, they just had no rhythm, no flow to their offense. They don't seem like they have the right type of horses for the scheme they want to run still, which in the second year of this coach, you should see a little more improvement in
Yeah,
that
you see.
area.
Yeah.
So they scored some point last week against Stony Brook, but even as you broke down in the stats, there really wasn't a whole lot to see in the stats there. And then this week against more even competition, they just got pushed around. Fourth down, bad. San Diego State defense.
Oh, no.
Now that used to be the one calling card, the
Yeah.
last few years of the
I
Brady
was
Hoke
going to say,
era.
if the Aztecs are bad on offense, that's just a Mountain West tradition, but they
Yeah,
shouldn't be bad on defense.
but the defense has kind of been their calling card the last over the last decade. Just didn't seem to have the same type of athletes that they used to. Or in they weren't able. Washington State was able to kind of just do whatever they wanted. They're not really trying to run the ball all that much, but they were able to run the ball when they tried. They were able to throw the ball at will. San Diego State was unable to just affect their offense at all. They didn't dictate to them what they could do. Washington State just got to do whatever they wanted to do against them. 0 interceptions, 0 sacks. They couldn't get to the quarterback. The wide receivers were wide open. It's just a bad recipe going forward. There's some real issues with the San Diego State team on offense and defense. I'm interested to see how that gets worked out going forward as we get into conference play. But that's my 4 downs good. That's my 4 downs bad.
It's a great segment, Terrence Newman.
Thank you.
You will get to see the Aztecs up close, and so will all of you who make the journey to Northern Nevada and Mackay Stadium October 11th. San Diego State is in town. So, all right. It's exciting. Another winnable game, at least at this point, on the home schedule for the Silver and Blue. Here's one little stat. Since we're introducing new segments, I'll give you just a little Easter egg as you start to think about the matchups this Saturday, Middle Tennessee at Nevada. Through 2 games, the Blue Raiders have allowed 10 sacks. Think about that and the Nevada defensive front that we have seen through 2 games. Just, put it in your pocket. You got anything else?
That's it. That's all we got for
All
this
right.
week.
All right. Well, it's Thursday afternoon. I'm going to cut this and publish it, and we look forward to seeing everybody in Mackay on Saturday, 2 o'clock kick. Terrence, Mike Edwards, and me will be on the radio, 105.7 FM. You can watch on Facebook Live, the official Nevada Athletics Facebook page for the Behind the Mic cam. Terrence, we gotta get a behind the sideline reporter cam too, because we could have used your reaction on the Maldonado interception. It probably was as good as Mike's, as you've described.
Yeah, we might have to get an IG live account or something.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
We'll get it all coordinator. Got plenty of time. All right, he's Terrence. I'm Ramey. We'll see you at 2 o'clock Saturday at Mackay. This has been Beyond the Booth. Peace.